everyone and welcome to Jack and Cat Adventures. Today we're going to be making Salisbury steak meatballs, so let's get started. In a bowl you need 2 pounds of ground beef, 3/4 cups of seasoned breadcrumbs, 1/4 cup of Dijon mustard. Now you can use stone ground if you want. I prefer the Dijon, so it's all up to you. And then you're going to need a 1/4 cup of ketchup. Oh, clean up aisle 1.
Throwing stuff around again.
Okay. 1 teaspoon of powdered beef base. Now that's like a
Bouillon.
beef bouillon. I don't have it. I have better than bouillon, so I'm just going to use that.
We use this in everything.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter much. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of that. Just make sure it gets mixed in pretty good. Okay. Wipe my finger off. Alright. And then you're going to need 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Half a teaspoon of salt. And a half a teaspoon of black pepper. Now we're just going to mix this all together. It's one of those days today, people.
She's a dropping stuff.
Alright, so I'm just going to mix this with my hands. Stick that in there for now. Now, if you want, you can add an egg. You don't have to. This recipe doesn't call for an egg, but by all means, if you want to make an egg, put an egg in it, go ahead and put an egg in it. Oh, this smells delicious. Wow.
Are you sure that's not me?
It's the mustard. It smells really good.
Oh, okay.
You'd have to shower for you to smell good.
Hey.
Alright, so just make sure you get all the breadcrumbs mixed in really well and that bouillon. I'm just kind of folding it into itself just to make sure I get all the ins and outs of the meat.
The better than bouillon paste seems to blend in a lot better than the powdered stuff.
Probably, because you won't be biting into powdered pieces. Because
Right.
you're not adding liquid to this. If you were to put that in a liquid and put it in, it'd be fine.
Right, but this is your
Right.
your meatball. That's it.
Alright, so in a heavy bottomed pan, you're going to heat up 2 tablespoons of butter. Once your butter melts, you're going to start making your meatballs. I'm using a really small meatball maker. You can use like the 1 to 1.5 inch if you'd like them bigger. I need to feed a lot of people, so I want to kind of stretch this out a little bit. So I'm going to make smaller meatballs. And we are going to put these over potatoes, mashed potatoes. The recipe is, I think, on our website. Check for mashed potatoes and you'll probably find it there. There's a couple different ones. Use what you think you'd like best. Or you can put it over white egg noodles, which is delicious too. Alright, now I have my meatballs in. I'm just going to do them in batches. I don't want to overcrowd my pan. I want to be able to move them around and brown them on all sides. So I'm going to do this on about medium heat and we'll see how it goes. We just want to get them browned all the way around. We'll finish cooking them in the sauce. Once they're nice and brown on all sides, we're going to put them onto a piece of paper towel to drain. Just be very careful when you lift these out. They're very, very delicate, okay? And if you have to add more butter, go ahead and add more butter. Alright, so what happened was this pan gets super hot, so the bottom crumblies got a little too burnt for my liking, so I cleaned the pot. Now if yours are just golden brown, keep them. You need that for the gravy. Mine would have just tasted burnt. So I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of butter back to my pot. I'm going to let that melt, and then I'm going to throw in 1 large onion cut the way you want to cut it. We're just going to cook this onion until it's just a little bit brown and translucent soft. And then you can cut up some mushrooms if you like. It's not in the recipe. I'm putting them in because we like mushrooms in ours. If you don't like them, don't put them in. Once your mushrooms get to the translucent or soft, if you're going to add mushrooms, this is when you want to add them, okay? Alright, once you get your mushrooms and onions in here, if you're using mushrooms, I'm still getting mine soft. While they're softening, you need 2.5 cups of beef broth. 1/2 cup is going to go into a bowl with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Stir it up really nice. It's going to be our thickener. In another measuring cup, you're going to get your 2 cups of beef broth. You're going to need 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1 tablespoon of ketchup, and we're going to do 1 teaspoon of this kitchen bouquet or gravy master at the end. So I'll show you when to add that. Alright, and to this mixture I also added 1 teaspoon of the Grey Poupon. Now if you don't want to add any more mustard, you don't have to. I just wanted more flavor. We might need to add a little bit more, but we'll see. Now you're going to add all that back to your pot except the 1/2 cup and the cornstarch. That's going to come later. We're going to increase our heat to get this to a rolling boil. Once this starts to boil, then we'll add our cornstarch. That'll help cook out the cornstarch but make it thicken. So my liquid has come up to a boil. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. I want a very light boil. I'm going to add my cornstarch and my broth to that. Now we're going to cook this until it starts to thicken up. I wanted to let you know I doubled the gravy part of this because we have so many mushrooms or meatballs, and we're going to put it over mashed potatoes, so I wanted to make sure there was enough gravy for the mashed potatoes. Now this is thickening up really quick, guys, so watch it. Now once your gravy's totally thickened up, this is where you'll want to add your, mine is Gravy Master, but there's also something called Kitchen Bouquet. It's just a gravy enhancer, so it'll give it like an underlying deep gravy taste. And just stir that in gently. And it just adds a nice darkness to this gravy. Alright, now we're going to add back in our meatballs gently. And we're just going to simmer this for about 10 minutes or until the meatballs are done. And they won't take long because you've browned them. They're pretty much almost cooked through, if not cooked through. Mine probably are because mine are so small. Just going to put this in, and then you're just gently going to stir this a couple times, but be really careful so your meatballs don't break apart. Right, so here's our finished Salisbury steak meatballs, and I just put them over some homemade mashed potatoes. You can use packaged mashed potatoes or you can use noodles, whatever you want. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And remember, you do you.